All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're cracking open a world that seems perfect on the surface. A world of total order, super precise language, and rules for, well, for everything. We're diving headfirst into Chapter 1 of Lois Lowry's classic, The Giver, to see just how this incredibly controlled society gets introduced to us from the get-go.
So the book kicks off with our main guy, Jonas, and right away he's correcting himself. Think about that. It's not just a passing thought, you know? It's a huge clue, a little window into a mind that's been hardwired to value precision over pretty much anything else. He's not just thinking, he's literally editing his own feelings as they happen. Wild, right? And that right there, that self-correction, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why is he so hung up on one single word? I mean, why does it matter that much? And that question, that's really the key that's going to unlock this whole community and all its secrets for us. So to figure that out, we've got to get inside Jonas's head for a bit. If we want to understand his world, we first have to understand how he's been taught to think about his own feelings. Okay, check this out. Jonas doesn't just dismiss the word frightened. He completely breaks it down. For him, that word, it's reserved for one specific memory of like pure gut-wrenching terror. What he's feeling now about this thing happening in December is totally different. It's this weird mix of being eager and excited, but also a little bit nervous. It's a messy, complicated emotion. And you have to remember, in a society that's all about squashing strong, unpredictable feelings, finding the exact right label for what you're feeling, well, that's everything. And that memory he has of being terrified, the jet, that wasn't just some random scary moment for him. Nope. It's actually a perfect example of the super strict you don't break 'em rules that run this entire community. It's all about keeping things in perfect, absolute order. So just try to picture this for a second. You live in a place where a pilot flying over your town is a huge no-no. It just doesn't happen. And then one day, this sleek, super fast jet just rips across the sky. Not once, but twice. For Jonas and, well, everyone, this was completely unheard of. It was a terrifying crack in their perfect, predictable little world. And the reaction from everyone? It is immediate. There's zero hesitation. No one's looking around asking, what should we do? This voice just blasts out of the speakers, and everybody does exactly what it says. Instantly. That one moment tells you so much about this place. It's a society built on total, unquestioning obedience. That's the bedrock that keeps their whole, carefully built world from falling into chaos. So after all that panic, they finally get an explanation. It was just a mistake, a pilot in training who got lost. But it's how the announcement ends that is just so chilling. The speaker, in this super calm, almost bored voice, says the pilot will be released. That's it. That kind of detached, clinical language is a powerful tool of control, right? It just sanitizes this awful event and sucks all the emotion right out of it. So what in the world does release actually mean in this context? Well, when it's a punishment, it is the worst possible thing. It's the ultimate disgrace. It means you have completely failed as a citizen, failed to fit in, failed to contribute. It's a final, you can't come back from it consequence. That's so serious. Kids get in trouble for even making a joke about it. And this is where things get really weird and, honestly, kind of brilliant. Release isn't just for punishment. It's also used for the elderly when it's a celebration of their life. And it's used for new babies who aren't developing properly, and that's treated with sadness. So you have one single sterile word for three completely different, huge life events. By doing that, the community completely simplifies and controls the entire story of life and death. It's efficient, to say the least. So you see, this obsession with control, it's not just about big things like jets in the sky. It trickles all the way down to the words people use. If you use the wrong word, it's not just a slip of the tongue. It's a real mistake that has to be corrected, immediately and publicly. And the perfect example of this is Jonas's best friend, Asher. You could say Asher is kind of the opposite of Jonas when it comes to words. He talks too fast, he's a little sloppy with his language, and he's always mixing things up. And in a place like this, that makes him a walking, talking lesson in language for everyone else. Like when Asher shows up late for school, he has to perform this whole public ritual. It's super rigid. He has to say the standard apology phrase, word for word. Then he has to explain why he messed up. And then he just stands there and waits for the entire class to chant back the standard phrase of acceptance. It's like everyone's reading from a script. And the whole point is to squash any individual drama and get everyone back on the same page so no bad feelings can grow.
And what was this big mistake he made? Get this, he said he was distraught because he was watching some salmon at the hatchery. The instructor jumps on it immediately. Nope, the correct word was distracted. Think about it. Distraught is a big, messy, painful feeling. Distracted is just a little slip up in your focus, easily fixed. Confusing those two words in this world? That's a serious problem, because it introduces the idea of big, messy feelings, which is the one thing they're trying to get rid of. Okay, so this whole thing with precise words and controlling your emotions, it doesn't just stop at the schoolhouse door. It follows them right into their homes. Let's talk about one of the most important rituals they have, the nightly telling of feelings. So every night, no exceptions, Jonas's family, they call it a family unit, gets together, and every single person has to share a feeling they had that day. And let's be clear, this isn't like, hey, how was your day? It's a rule. It's basically a form of emotional check-in, almost like surveillance, to make sure no feeling gets ignored or gets too big or spins out of control. And for most of Jonas's family, the feelings are pretty simple, pretty manageable. His little sister Lily is angry about a kid on the playground. Easy fix. His dad, who's a nurturer, is worried about a baby. His mom is frustrated with someone who keeps breaking rules. But you see the pattern? Each feeling is tied to the rules of the community. And by the end of the talk, each one is identified, talked through, and basically neutralized. That's the whole point of the ritual. But then, after everyone else has aired their simple, easily solved little problems, it's Jonas's turn. And his feeling? Well, it's the one he's been struggling with since the very first sentence of the book. And it's not simple at all. And there it is. He finally finds it. After all that mental gymnastics, he lands on the one word that perfectly pins down that whole jumble of eagerness and excitement and just a little bit of fear. The word is apprehensive. It's precise, it's accurate, it's the right word. So, okay, we have the word. But what's he so apprehensive about? Why is this coming December so important? Well, it all boils down to one single, huge, life-changing event. The source of all this anxiety is the ceremony of 12. This is the big one. It's a huge deal that every single kid in the community spends their life building up to. It's the day that decides their entire future. And this ceremony, it really shows you how their world works. At this event, every kid who's turning 12 is given their job for life, their assignment. And you don't get a choice. There's no career day. It's handed to you. This is the system's ultimate power move, right? It's how they make sure every single person has a specific purpose, a specific function, so that the whole community can run like a well-oiled machine, without all that messy chaos that comes from things like, personal dreams or ambition. And all of this leaves us with one big looming question. In a world that has gotten rid of surprises, that has managed to control feelings, and has perfected order, what does it actually feel like to be on the verge of having your entire future decided for you? That feeling of apprehension Jonas has, trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg.